This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Friday, June 19th, 2026, in the afternoon. Today we analyze three pivotal shifts in the digital landscape. We examine the move by Google to potentially block Firefox from Google Workspace, the long-awaited arrival of Project Valhalla in Java, and the acquisition of Boston Dynamics by Hyundai. We also address the practical restriction of AI in Norwegian schools and the discovery of an unpatchable boot-level exploit in Apple A12 and A13 chips. A contentious development has emerged regarding Google Workspace's compatibility with non-Chrome browsers. Reports indicate that Google is threatening to restrict Firefox access to its productivity suite. The underlying friction relates to web standard implementation and tracking telemetry. If enforced, this move would fragment the browser landscape, forcing users into the Chromium ecosystem to maintain business operations. Analysts suggest this is a strategic play to solidify the Google-owned standard stack under the guise of security and performance optimizations.
After a decade of intense engineering, Project Valhalla has finally arrived in Java Development Kit 28. This is a monumental update for systems-level programming within the Java virtual machine. By introducing value types and specialized generics, Valhalla eliminates the performance penalties associated with object header overhead and pointer indirection. This effectively allows Java to achieve memory layout efficiency previously reserved for languages like C++ or Rust. The technical community views this as the most significant JVM evolution in 15 years, enabling predictable memory usage for high-performance applications. Hyundai has officially taken full control of Boston Dynamics, completing a $325 million transaction as SoftBank exits its position. This acquisition signals a shift in the robotics market from venture-backed research toward industrial integration. Hyundai is positioned to move robotics from laboratory-scale prototypes to assembly line and logistics deployment. The focus will now shift to high-volume manufacturing of mobile, multi-terrain robots to augment physical human labor in vehicle production. Security researchers have disclosed a new, unpatchable boot ROM exploit affecting Apple A12, A13, S4, and S5 chips. Named Obliterate, the vulnerability requires physical USB access and device firmware update mode. It allows an attacker to execute code before the iOS kernel even loads. This bypasses signature checks entirely, enabling the boot of modified software. Because this is a hardware-level vulnerability, it cannot be patched via software updates, creating a persistent risk for older Apple hardware currently in circulation. Under the radar, Norway has moved to impose a near-total ban on generative AI use in elementary schools for children aged 6 to 13. Older students aged 14 to 16 are permitted limited, teacher-supervised interaction. This policy serves as a canary for the global educational sector, suggesting a widespread pivot toward human-centric foundational learning to avoid the cognitive atrophy associated with early-stage AI over-reliance. Community sentiment remains intense across three key areas. First, the 40 Bleed campaign continues to dominate security discussion, with over 70,000 Fortinet firewalls now confirmed as compromised due to stolen credentials. Admins are being urged to initiate mandatory password resets and enforce multi-factor authentication immediately. Second, the security community is reacting to the disclosure of several vulnerabilities in the libd E265 video codec, specifically integer overflows and out-of-bounds writes in H265 processing. These bugs underline the inherent fragility of codec implementations when handling malformed bitstreams. Third, researchers are highlighting a significant increase in targeted phishing via Versal-based cloning services, which are being used to mimic legitimate login pages for platforms like Amazon and Netflix. Finally, we note that the discourse on vibe coding continues to evolve, with developers reporting success in using AI to convert broken database-heavy websites into static, zero-load alternatives. The consensus is clear. The current environment requires a return to first principles, particularly in supply chain auditing and local-first software architecture.